So we had a very diverse group with different opinions in our group. So there's not as if there was something that the group would settle on and say, well, this is how we're going to deal with the disaster. And these are some of the solutions for going forward. But each individual, based on their work and what they do and their point of view, would have very different perspective. So including we had a carbon skeptic in the group. So I wanted to tell just like a couple of the points that did come out that got covered. And then I think there'll be a time later where each person might be able to put into words more their own perspective, because it's hard to just summarize and go, here's the theme. So we had like on one side, because we were the middle group, we were the side where things were happening. And there was, I think, actually a really moving description about a whole town that was just destroyed by the climate effects and getting abandoned, and the decision to not rebuild it. And so people just were needing to find places to go. People were still sleeping in cars quite a long time after. And so this person wasn't really hopeful about what was going to happen. So it was good for being in like 2, because we could see it's already happening. It's already beyond what we can even imagine. It sounds incredibly sad. And the problem's at a level where we don't know how do you move a whole town of people, right? We don't actually just have the rule book for that, the playbook for it. On the other side, there were kind of a range of different belief in like different technical solutions. So there were people that there was the thought that solutions abound, that they're really plentiful. They're starting to emerge. Even in the last year or two, they're emerging. And so a range of different hopefulness about what's possible. And then there was a group saying, well, but how are we going to implement it? How are we going to prioritize it? You know, we don't really have one group thought we don't have the technologies, only nuclear will be big enough. So there was like some disagreement, or there was like discussion about nuclear versus other kinds of energy technologies. So we never quite, we didn't settle on that, because we come from different points of view about should it just all be nuclear? We start working on that as soon as possible, or should we start doing some short-term energy solutions while we're waiting for some nuclear to kick in? And then are there new advances in nuclear that make it smaller and other kinds than what we're just used to as huge plants? But so that was kind of what are the technical solutions, and had a range of views on what those are. There were also process solutions about, well, what about waste and how much we're making things, so that it's not just maybe we'll need less energy as we clean up our processes and we have less waste. And then the other one is, how do we get the human processes to work so that we can all get together and see at least close enough to a same picture, set a goal, and prioritize and get our implementation in line. So there were technical decisions to get made and to learn about. There are waste and process decisions and how we run our everyday lives, and then how we're going to do it with policy and make the priorities.